Hi, I'm Nyesha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Good morning, this is Jonathan Small, host of All About You. This program is broadcast every week at AccessTV.org studios in downtown Hartford. The show is designed to give my guests a chance to give his or her life story, and occasionally we will get into a particular topic. This morning I have as my guest the mayor of Bloomfield, Syd Shulman. Good morning, Sydney.
Good morning.
All right. One of the big issues, though, that you have to be always, I think, concerned as a mayor, you are very close in proximity to an urban city like Hartford, the capital city. Hartford has a lot of serious problems with crime, public safety, a lot of underlying issues with unemployment. Does it always get to a point of being close to an urban city that some of their problems could spread into your town? So do you take that into consideration?
Absolutely. I mean, Hartford, most people think that Hartford's problems stay with Hartford. They don't. They spread to West Hartford, they spread to East Hartford, Granby, Wethersfield, whatever. Mm-hmm. So people in surrounding towns can't ignore the problems of Hartford.
Mm-hmm. Is the problems in Hartford really affecting Bloomfield that's concerning you?
Well, they affect all towns.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, they affect Bloomfield a little bit. Fortunately, I don't think they affect them an awful lot. But anybody is living in I don't know, fantasy land if they think that Hartford's problems don't affect it, because if a company moves out of Hartford, sure, we'd like to get them in our town maybe, mm-hmm. but the fact of the matter is a lot of our people who live in Bloomfield may work in that firm, mm-hmm. and therefore they lose their jobs. That's an example of where something in Hartford can affect people in the surrounding communities.
Well, people always say if Hartford became a regionalized city or town, connected to the surrounding towns, that would go a long way in trying to solve some of the problems. Connecticut has 169 cities and towns, which is very unique towards a state. Would that be something that you think you would be in favor of if Hartford became one county and Bloomfield and Windsor and the surrounding towns was part of that county?
I'd probably be run out of office if I said yes, because the fact of the matter is that the reason Connecticut has 169 towns, mm-hmm. is because Connecticut is one of the most turf-conscious states in the whole country.
Okay.
And not to say that states around are not, but the fact of the matter is that people in Bloomfield are Bloomfield, mm-hmm. and they're proud of being in Bloomfield. They don't want to be a part of Hartford. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a lot of regional type stuff that we can do. We have a West Hartford Bloomfield Health District. We don't have our own health district. So there's a lot of things we can share, a lot of regionalism that take place, and I'm 100% in favor of that. But no surrounding towns want to inherit Hartford's problems. Mm-hmm. So Hartford's going to have to solve its own problems.
Now, you've had a lot of residents over the years that has actually left Hartford and moved out to Bloomfield for many different reasons. Is there a perception or reality that these people kind of forget Hartford and just move on with their own life, or is there some sense of a connection between the people that actually used to live in Hartford that live in Bloomfield?
I think a lot of the people who move to Bloomfield have relatives, friends, and stuff in Hartford, so there's a tie, there's a connection that doesn't automatically disappear when you move to Bloomfield.
Okay.
So I think some people's perception is that they're still Hartford,
okay.
but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as life goes on and they get jobs and have kids and the kids have kids and so forth in Bloomfield, I think that becomes less and less, to the point where in the vast majority of cases, Bloomfield people no longer consider themselves part of Hartford.
Now, for a long time, Bloomfield had a problem with their public school systems. Many people thought that problem was because a lot of the students who used to live, or the parents who used to live in Hartford, went out to Bloomfield and brought the problems out there. Is that an accurate assessment, or was there just some underlying problems that created the problem?
I think there's some underlying problems. Part of that is true in the sense that, and it has nothing to do with specifically with the fact that people left Hartford, mm-hmm. but people with less income seem to have a bigger problem with education than people with a lot of income. I mean, one of the two of the top school systems in the state are Avon and Simsbury.
Right.
We're not going to sit here and tell you that the average income in Avon and Simsbury isn't a lot higher than Hartford. So, yeah, part of that is poor people, and it has nothing at all to do with culture, race, ethnicity, or whatever. It's the fact that a lot of people, when they have a lot of different problems, when they don't have sufficient income, and wherever they move
Okay.
to other communities, they bring that with them. However, that's not the whole story.
Okay.
And I think that we had a problem in our school system. We still do have a problem in our school system, but our school system today is nothing what it was like even 2-3 years ago. It's rapidly changing, rapidly getting better.
Well, see, Sydney, there's always this misconception that the suburbs have the best school systems or a better school system than the urban sectors. And Bloomfield technically is considered a residential suburb. I mean, it's a suburb or a town right outside of a larger city. So people who grew up in Bloomfield wasn't automatically guaranteed a good top quality school system for a very long time. What has been some of the changes that you think has happened that has kind of improved the school system in Bloomfield?
Well, the gentleman that was deputy mayor, Don Harris, who was a longtime principal of Bloomfield High School and a teacher in the Bloomfield school system, grew up in Bloomfield, graduated in Bloomfield. He is now the chairperson of the Board of Education. They brought in Dr. James Thompson from Hartford, who has done an absolutely phenomenal job as a superintendent of schools. One of the first things he did when he walked in, he says, there's a lot of kids here who are not achieving. We're going to have mandatory summer school. And he started mandatory summer school. And in the last 2 years, I think he's been there 2.5 years, something like that, the scores on the mastery test and the CAP test have gone way up. And he is not satisfied with proficiency, which is the lower level goal. The lower level testing. He wants the students a goal, and they're moving rapidly toward that. Do we compare now with Avon and Simsbury? No. Will we in 5 years? I'll bet we do. So our school system's rapidly improving. We combined schools. We now have 2 elementary schools rather than 3. We have magnet schools in Bloomfield.
Okay.
We had the first preschool magnet school in the state of Connecticut in Bloomfield, and it's our Wintonberry early learning school. And that's bringing in students from other towns, from Simsbury, West Hartford, and other towns, with our kids. We have our Global Community Experience Magnet School, and CREC located its Metropolitan Learning Center in Bloomfield. So we have magnet school. We have an agriculture magnet school in Bloomfield. It's not commonly known. So I think our school system is very much on the way up. And we have more students at goal, which is the state standard or above goal, than many more than we did. We have a larger number of AP classes, the advanced placement classes, where you can get a college credit for it, than we did 2 years ago.
Well, you just made a very strong prediction now. Because Bloomfield for a long time was ranked towards the bottom in the school system with the scores, the SAT scores, the CMT test scores, and you're saying that you predict in the next 5 to 10 years that Bloomfield is going to be close to Avon and Simsbury, and they've been at the top for a very long period of time. That's a very strong, I think, prediction to make, and I think the improvements that you have seen from where Bloomfield used to be to where Bloomfield is today is tremendously improved. But to reach that level of Simsbury and Avon, what is it really going to take to get to that next level?
It's going to take the commitment I think we've always had, but we haven't had the direction to go along with the commitment. You can have committed teachers who want to do good things for the kids, but one thing I've been opposed to from day one is social promotion. I don't think we need it. I don't think we want it. I think taking the kids and requiring the kids discipline-wise, we have good discipline in our schools now, which we didn't at one time, and a requirement for homework and so forth. I think it's an achievable goal, and it's the goal of our superintendent and our chairperson of the Board of Education and the whole board.
Mm-hmm. Well, if this was able to actually take place, I think Bloomfield could be a model of one of the biggest turnarounds in school history, not just in the state, but in the entire country. Because when you, just 10 years ago, looked at the scores and some of the problems that was existing in the Bloomfield school system, and if you're saying in the next 5 to 10 years it could be right up there in the top, that would be a tremendous successful story. I know you'll have a very busy day, so I appreciate you giving up your time this morning to be my guest, and I again wish you the very best luck in the near future.
Well, thank you very much.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
for having me on the show.
Okay, Sydney. Again, this is Jonathan Small. I had enjoyed hosting this program this morning with my guest, Mayor Syd Shulman. Until the next time I see you, have a very blessed day and keep the faith. Thank you.